I have video for you today that is the most presidential, most normal moment of Donald Trump's political career. Trump did squeeze in a little bit of nonsense into this minute, but this is video of Donald Trump speaking about vaccines. He basically sounds normal. He basically sounds like he's deferring to science. I have never seen Trump look this presidential. It's 60 minutes in the last decade, so let's not go crazy. But take a listen to what Donald Trump had to say, then we're going to analyze it.
Another Florida question, the vaccine mandates that were rolled back for school children. What do you think about that?
Well, I think we have to be very careful. Look, you have some vaccines that are so amazing. The polio vaccine, I happen to think, is amazing. A lot of people think that COVID is amazing. You know, there are many people that believe strongly in that. But you have some vaccines that are so incredible. And I think you have to be very careful when you say that some people don't have to be vaccinated. It's a very tough position. So I'd give you an answer. I'll give you a feeling. But just initially, I heard about it yesterday, and it's a tough stance. Look, you have vaccines that work. They just pure and simple work. They're not controversial at all. And I think those vaccines should be used. Otherwise, some people are going to catch it, and they endanger other people. And when you don't have controversy at all, I think people should take it.
Listen to that. Donald Trump basically gets it right. Now, we're going to talk about the why in a moment. But Trump said a bunch of things correctly there. When Trump gets it right, I'm going to tell you, okay? We have to be very careful at telling people not to get a vaccine. He's right. It's extremely dangerous when we say don't get a vaccine unless there is damn good reason, scientific reason, to tell people that. Trump says the polio vaccine is great. Trump says many people think the COVID vaccine is great. It's a little self-serving because Trump gives himself credit for that, but okay. You have vaccines that plain and simple work and aren't controversial. Trump is right. Trump says if people don't use them, other people are endangered by those who choose not to vaccinate. That is absolutely correct. Now, what's politically relevant is that Donald Trump's Secretary of Health and Human Services, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., has previously said there are no vaccines proven to be safe and effective. Remember this moment with CNN's Breonna Keeler, where he denies saying it, and then she rolls the tape.
You have gained notoriety for your skepticism about vaccines. And over the summer in an interview, you said, quote, there's no vaccine that is, safe and effective. Do you still believe that?
I never said that.
So stop me. We have the clip. Please play the clip.
You've talked about that the media slanders you by calling you an anti-vaxxer. And you've said that you're not anti-vaccine, you're pro-safe vaccine. Difficult question. Can you name any vaccines that you think are good?
I think some of the live virus vaccines are probably averting more problems than they're causing. There's no vaccine that is, safe and effective. What I'm saying is that none of the 72 vaccines has ever been tested in a safety study.
Okay. There is no vaccine that is safe and effective. None of the 72 vaccines have been tested in a safety study. So let's get back to the science. The problem for Trump in being as presidential as I've ever seen him and telling people not to get vaccines is dangerous. A lot of these vaccines just straight up work. The problem for Trump is that he has someone running his Department of Health and Human Services who doesn't believe that any vaccine is safe and effective. So while Trump had his most presidential moment of all time, it conflicts with the guy he has heading up policy on the issue. Now let's talk about the science. RFK and other anti-vaxxers love this talking point. No vaccine has ever been tested in a safety study. It's misleading and it's also false. Now, the absolute claim they make is that vaccines are released without safety testing at all. The technical claim they make is that a particular type of long-term randomized placebo-controlled safety trial hasn't been done. And then they interpret that as no safety studies exist. So it's really important. And I know that this is nuanced stuff, but if we don't understand this, then we're not really going to understand what they're saying. Vaccines are subjected to extensive safety testing. There are preclinical studies, phase 1 trials, phase 2 trials, phase 3 trials, post-marketing surveillance, etc. There's a misunderstanding about placebo. Sometimes what people like RFK and others argue is that because vaccines aren't tested against an inert saline placebo, where you take a group and you inject them with saline, they don't know whether they've gotten the vaccine or not, especially in later stages. They say because that's not done, then there isn't really a safety study here. And then in addition to that, critics say, oh, there are no decades-long placebo-controlled trials. That's really what you need. Now, that's true in vaccines that have been proven for years, because it would be unethical if you have a vaccine that has been proven safe and effective in preclinical, in phase 1 trials, in phase 2 trials, in phase 3 trials. You say, we've got to approve this thing and get it to people because it's going to help them. It's going to save lives in many cases. And therefore, it would be unethical to take a group and say, for the next 10 years, you're going to get a placebo rather than getting the actual vaccine and the protection that comes with it. For the same reason that there are certain types of placebo-controlled trials with pregnant women that are unethical, that would be unethical with functional, safe vaccines. Every vaccine has been tested for safety in multiple stages of trials before approval. There are certain types of studies, like the decades-long inert placebo trials, that aren't done for ethical reasons, but that doesn't mean vaccines aren't tested for safety. The anti-vax people love that talking point. Now, as far as, Trump goes, his most presidential moment that I can remember, but unfortunately he put in charge a guy with the opposite views, and that's absolutely disgusting.